This is the EricHerbShowLive.com. You can find me online at the EricHerbShowLive.com/Spreaker. Also on the Eric Herb Show on Twitter. You can find me online also at Facebook, the EricHerbShowLive.com. That's my Facebook page. And of course, always on YouTube, youtube.com/the Eric Herb Show. You can find me there. And then, of course, on Anchor. That's anchor.fm, anchor.fm/the Eric Herb Show. Okay, let's get into the news. Like, share, subscribe if you like this podcast. Let me know what you think. All right, this article is on the headlines, June 7th, 2020. Naturalnews.com is where I'm pulling the article. It said, coronavirus will not be stopped by summer heat, study says. This is from naturalnews.com. All right, as I continue to read the article, the rise in temperatures in the U.S. this summer is unlikely to stop the spread of the Wuhan coronavirus or COVID-19. A new study from Harvard Medical School reveals the study published in the journal Clinical Infectious Diseases found that SARS-CoV-2 virus, the pathogen responsible for the COVID-19 virus, is sensitive to extreme heat and light. There is an association between temperature and the rate of transmission. SARS-CoV-2 virus, which may result in the modest decline in the community of transmission of SARS-CoV-2. With warmer weather, the researchers wrote, the effect is modest, however, and is unlikely to slow down the spread of the containment measures that are relaxed right now. Weather only caused a modest change in the spread of the COVID or coronavirus. That's what they're saying. To figure out the temperature, ultraviolet light must be ultraviolet light and even precipitation affected the spread of the coronavirus in the U.S. The researchers took a look at the weather, the daily weather patterns in all 50 states, as well as Washington, D.C. between January 22nd and April 3rd, 2020. They compared these figures with data on cases from these locations, factoring a 5-day incubation period of the virus. The daily average temperature during this period was about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Researchers noticed that the daily maximum temperature of greater than 52 was linked statistically to lower number of coronavirus cases 5 days later. On the other hand, daily maximum temperature of 30 degrees or less was associated with higher infection rates for the disease. According to researchers, higher UV levels, that's ultraviolet levels, were associated with lower rate of new infections. They populated that this was because the rays disrupt the integrity of the virus. Meanwhile, no link was found between rain and the coronavirus cases. Okay, basically what this article is saying out of naturalnews.com is that this disease is going to stick around for a while. Heat might affect it, although they seem a little skeptical here. Heat, ultraviolet rays might affect it, might take a little bit, if you will, the sting out of it as far as the disease goes. But if anything, the disease is going to be here for a while. So this is going to be a pandemic, folks, that is not here today and gone tomorrow. This is going to be a pandemic that is here today, tomorrow, and next week, next month, and then possibly next year is what they're trying to say. I think a lot of this, as I've been hearing in the medical field, this is very controversial that I say this, but I've watched and seen lots of medical professionals now being told that anything, basically, even if you have the flu, they're saying we're going to call this coronavirus. Well, they're doing that, folks. If somebody happens to die and they die, let's say, of the flu, old age, the flu, God knows what, God forgive them, they die of something, these hospitals are being told by the National Institute of Health and other places, CDC and all over, that no matter what happens, the cause of death, it's coronavirus. To add that person to the count, add that person's body to the count of dead people that's died from coronavirus. That's why the numbers are inflated to make this look 10 times worse than it's not. You go back to the Spanish flu, which in upwards could have killed 50 million plus people or more. That's a real pandemic, folks. What we're seeing now is about less than 1% or barely 1% death rate, at least in this country. You have 331 or 32 million last time I counted people here in the United States. You take 100,000. That barely registers a notch, and I'm not by any way, shape, or form putting down people of those families that have departed ones that died from the coronavirus. I'm not. I refuse to do that, and I won't do that. But on the other hand, you have to have some common sense as to what the hell is going on, and you have to have some broad understanding, which, again, most people don't out there, that this is how bad these globalists and these elites running the country, the Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezos, it just goes on and on and on. Over there in England, the Queen, I mean, it's all just a racket. It is all global elites. They want to get rid of Donald J. Trump. And I'm not just saying that. That is a fact. Russiagate, Obamagate, whatever the hell gate it is, they want to get now, then COVID-19, coronavirus. They want to get rid of President Trump. And this is one way this disease sticks around that they can do it. COVID's kind of taken a back seat, if you will, to the riots. Everything going on, and they're still the elites and the media are still pushing the COVID-19. Well, you just had 5 or 10 people die already with these riots here, and they're pushing the COVID-19 bullshit on everybody. Well, you gotta remember, they're pushing the COVID-19 bullshit on everybody because they can keep control of everybody here in the United States with the fear mongering, the fear. And those people that are willing to believe that crap, those people that are willing to go ahead and believe in that and believe the lie, those are the ones that are going to end up going down and sinking with the ship. Because you must have some type of critical thinking involved when it comes to all this COVID-19 coronavirus. And again, I'm not saying it's not real. It is real. But what they were pushing did not do the damage that they thought it would do. Again, as I've told my family and different things and friends, close friends and family, this was the precursor for the real disease to come around. The real disease might be COVID-20. It might be Ebola hiding again. They still don't have a cure for Ebola, but they do. They're just not sharing it with anybody here. But the real disease, this was a test to see if they could control the world with a scare factor, playing the fear-monger game, using the COVID-19 coronavirus. And guess what? Hey, it worked. It absolutely worked. They can control, the elites have found out, they can control basically 99.9% of the population in the world, which I think right now is about 6 approaching 7 billion people, 6 billion and some odd number, but I think we're closely approaching 7 billion people with a B here in the world, that they realize they can control almost the entire world with this deal going on. So anywhere you go, anywhere you look, anytime, there is always either money to be made in this thing, this one chapter. it's all about control. It's about controlling the people, controlling the population, depopulation, getting rid of billions of people because they want to get it shaved down to about 500 million. If they had their way, they would kill off almost everybody in the world. These elite globalists, these sickos, these Satanists, they're pedophilic Satanists, and they do bad things to kids, and they do bad things to people, and if you oppose them, you'll disappear, and you'll go away, and you won't come back. You'll be dead. It's just my mind sometimes wants to explode all the knowledge and all the information I have, but I have to use caution in how I share this information, especially when it goes to like a YouTube channel or something like that. I do have a YouTube, The Eric Erb Show Live at youtube.com. I have to be careful how I share this information. People go over the top. People, rather than support free speech under the Constitution of the United States, they would rather shut us down, shut anybody down that talks about this stuff. Bill Gates, classic sicko. He needs to stick to Windows. Matter of fact, he hasn't been able to make a good version of Windows ever since they started making computers. It's just a joke. Now, Apple, on the other hand, yeah, they make a decent Mac, so they have a decent product, but I'm not promoting one over the other. But again, Bill Gates is not a doctor, but he's pushing the COVID-19. He's pushing the anti-vaccine. He's pushing the vaccine, and there's a lot of anti-vaxxers out there. I support you 110%. It's just absolutely it's mind-boggling, is what it is. Then as I finished the article, back to naturalnews.com, the researchers have also developed a model that looked into how a state would fare in terms of caseloads using temperature as a variable. According to their models, a state with daily maximum temperatures of less than 52 degrees Fahrenheit would have 23 million cases more each day compared to another that the maximum temperature soared over 52 degrees Fahrenheit. On the opposite end, a colder state where the daily maximum temperature remained about 30 degrees Fahrenheit would see around 110 more cases per million at the peak compared to a state where temperatures would drop below 60 degrees. Interesting enough, these forecasts remained the same. Even the researchers accounted for the factors that could affect rates such as population density, etc. So basically, bottom line is, if you live in a colder state, you stand a much better chance, at least during the cold season, of getting the coronavirus. That's just a bottom line. If you live in a warmer state, such as I'm fortunate and blessed enough to live in a warmer state here in Central Florida, that gets well above the 50-degree mark pretty much most or all the year, you stand a little less likely of a chance of picking up the coronavirus. So these are very interesting. Again, the article out of naturalnews.com, and the study was conducted by Harvard, a new study from Harvard Medical School. So just make a note of that. So this is what they're saying, the folks at Harvard. Very interesting statistics. It's something to make note of. But as far as my personal opinion, off the record, I do honestly think they're going to keep the deal going, keep the scam going, keep everything going until they get rid of Donald Trump. And as I've said this over and over and over, and I don't support the left on this at all. I never did. I never will. Until they get rid of Donald Trump, the chaos, the destruction, the calamity, the drama will not end. And now people are going to be screaming. They're going to be saying, oh, my God, you're sticking up for Biden and the Democrats. Eric, you know, what the hell is wrong with you? No, that's not what I'm doing at all. I'm analyzing the situation, and no, because the deep state is getting rounded up one by one by one. Bill Barr and company, they're getting rounded up one by one. The deep state will take a long, long, long time to drain. It's not going to be drained in a month. It's not going to be drained in a year. It might take 8 years or more. So it might take 2 terms of President Trump's presidency in order to drain the swamp. And then it might not be drained all the way. The swamp is very deep. The swamp goes miles and miles and miles and miles deep. You can't imagine, as big as the government is, and that's the biggest employer in the entire United States is the federal government, of course, and branches of the federal government. It goes way, 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 way deep than we could ever, even I could ever imagine. And this is where the scumbags are. This is where the deep state hides. They go back in their proverbial hole, and they only come out when they're needed and when they absolutely positively must come out just to defend themselves. They do things, they play games, Russiagate, it just goes on and on and on and on, the Russia hoax, and it's nonstop. It just, again, I have voted for Trump in 2016. I'll vote for Trump in 2020. But again, me knowing what I know, the drama and the crap and the riots now and all this bullshit will not stop until Trump is out of office. I don't say that to support anybody. I'm just saying that that's a fact. And if you're a Trump supporter like me, God bless you. I absolutely love all of you. Even if you're not, I still love you. But you must face the facts. These are the facts of life. Until President Trump is out of office, the drama will not end. Because he has told his Attorney General, Bill Barr, to get them sons of bitches no matter what, the deep state. That's Bill Barr's orders. He's the do that. As the Department of Justice, he's the head. He is where the buck stops with him. And he'll stop at nothing to turn over all these secrets and to dig up all these graves. And so they're scrambling, they're panicking, they'll do everything possible you could even imagine to get rid of Trump. So, all right, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the podcast. You can find me online at theericherbshow.com, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show, Anchor, that's anchor.fm, anchor.fm/The Eric Erb Show live. And then, of course, you can find me on Spreaker.com/The Eric Erb Show. And I'm always on YouTube until they decide they want to kick me off or bar me at YouTube.com/The Eric Erb Show live. Like, share, subscribe, take care of yourself, and I am out of there. Be safe.